was standing by my window on a cold and cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. I told the Undertaker, please drive slow, for this body you are holding, Lord, I hate to see her go. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by?
Hi guys, welcome to Para Women Radio. I'm Amy. How's everyone doing tonight? This week's poll asked whether you wanted to discuss the Jen Soto or slimy Stephen Stearns interview / interrogation. Perhaps Jen could be called Slimy Jen too, but I digress. Anyway, Slimy Jen or Jennifer Soto won, and so we will be delving into why she hasn't been arrested on tonight's Para Women Radio, along with her interrogation. Tonight's live stream, of course, relates to the tragic Madeline Soto case from last February, where the 13-year-old was red-rummed by her mother's live-in boyfriend. Jen was allegedly forcing or allowing co-sleeping arrangements and some other things that we'll get into. So let's dive right into this riveting topic, shall we? But before we do, if I could ask you to share my content, shout out to our replay crew. Oh, and also, have you considered becoming a dragonfly? The Dragonfly is our community over on YouTube. We give the Dragonfly special perks such as discounts, early releases. It's just a way for me to support you with a little extra and a way for you to support me with a little extra. Here, let me show you. I have a little something to show you all about it. And if you're not subscribed, why are you not subscribed? I would really love to have you as a power subscriber. If you really like my content, be sure to become a dragonfly, and that's our membership, and it's $2.99 a month. I release all my videos early. We have special emojis over in the chat room. I kind of share things ahead of time with my dragonflies, and I go live sometimes just for the dragonflies. It's a way that I can support you guys and give you more content, and it's a way for you to support our channel. It's $2.99 a month, and I would love to have you. And I will put the link in the comment, or in the comments, and also over in the show notes if you are interested in joining. Here is the link, and yeah. All right, so let's get everything going. Let me get my screen together, and we'll take it away. So when I was doing the timeline of the Soto case, I had mentioned this comment that was extremely alarming to me. And it was something along the lines of Jen Soto not wanting her daughter to Woody Allen her. So I found the creator where I had seen this. It was on Rotten Mango, very popular creator, 4.4 million subscribers. But this is where I had first heard this comment.
One of the worst relationships in Hollywood history. I mean, who are we to judge? But we're going to judge this relationship because the whole setup of it is very odd. You have Mia Farrow. She's this famous actress. She starred as Rosemary in Rosemary's Baby back in the 60s. She's dating this guy who is also in Hollywood. And in the span of dating for 12 years, they end up making 13 movies together. But it's interesting because there are all these tabloid rumors. Why are they not getting married? How come they never got married? How come they never even lived together? They never even move in together in the span of 12 years, which power to them if that's not the life that they want. But people are on the side just trying to grasp, how is this relationship working? Especially because Mia Farrow, the actress, she has 6 children of her own. Some of them come from her previous relationship. They're her biological kids. Other children, she's adopted them. But Woody, her boyfriend, filmmaker, is very firm from the get-go. I have no interest in co-parenting. I don't want to co-parent your kids. I don't want to be involved in your kids' lives. I don't want to financially support them. I don't want to emotionally support them. I just don't see myself as a father like that. Maybe he just doesn't like kids. At least in the very beginning, that's what people are thinking. But then they end up having a son together. Ronan Farrow, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist now. Amazing, okay? But they have him, and eventually Woody does end up adopting 2 of Mia Farrow's children. Perhaps he comes around on not wanting to have children, and he becomes slowly more integrated into at least 3 of the kids' lives. A year after Woody adopts 2 of Mia's kids, so they have a son, and then he adopts 2 of her kids, Mia goes over to Woody's apartment one day, because remember, they don't live together, and she finds a stack of pictures. Just graphic pictures. She's saying they wouldn't even put these on Playboy. They're like Hustler magazine pictures. So they're very raunchy, I guess is the word. Just really, really pictures of another woman who is clearly very young, about 21 years old. Woody's in his 50s. And the pictures are very clear. These are not cutouts of a magazine. They're not printed out. They're Polaroids. So Woody probably took these pictures. Woody Allen is cheating on his long-term girlfriend, Mia Farrow, which is already devastating enough, but Mia is doing triple takes on these pictures because it is not just a random girl that he met on set or a random woman that he walked by on the street that developed some sort of chemistry with. This girl in the picture is her own adopted daughter from Korea, Soon-yi.
Wait,
And this is what Jen Soto doesn't want to have happen.
Breaking news tonight. Murdered Maddie Soto's mom says she feared a Woody Allen situation. Really? Yet she continued to allow her then 12-year-old little girl to sleep every night in the bed alone with mommy's boyfriend. This as on secretly recorded jailhouse calls, we hear mommy's boyfriend turned murder suspect state, Maddie started it. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
And when I hear all of this, I just always go back to the question, why is this woman not arrested? Why is she walking scot-free? Why? And so I must go deeper into this and figure it out because I find it outrageous. So what we do here is we will watch quite a few things tonight. Never really anything in its entirety. I'll stop and start it. I'll talk over it. But what I will do is I will put the links to everything that we watch over in the YouTube show notes. We do this for fair play use. We also do it to cite our sources. So that is how we do this. And be sure to... well, yeah, just be sure. I don't want to keep saying like it and because I've already said it. So yeah, here we go.
And Soto now since the beginning, since she was reported missing in Orange County in late February. Good afternoon. I'm Darlene Jones.
and I'm Greg Wormuth. This is a look at the 13-year-old girl's picture, and investigators ultimately found her dead in St. Cloud. This was back in early March. Police arrested this man, Stephen Stearns, for her murder. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. Stearns is the boyfriend of Maddie's mother. We interviewed them both before law enforcement found the teen's body. Channel 9 Shannon Butler joins us live in studio for this breaking update. And Shannon, sources have told you the mother of Madeline Soto has not broken the law.
That's right. And the interview with Soto takes place on February 27th, about 11:30 p.m., just after her daughter was reported missing. She has a hard time answering some of those questions, but sources tell me nothing so far she has done has been criminal. So at least for
I mean, you can even hear it in the news. People, they're like saying, even though she's not broken any laws, yeah, she's can't quite answer the questions right, so nothing can be done.
now, no charges will be filed. Jennifer Soto appears calm as she tells the Orange County detective the events surrounding her daughter's disappearance. She said at 11 p.m. that Sunday, just after her daughter's 13th birthday, she sent Madeline Soto and Stephen Stearns to bed together.
Is it normal for both of them to sleep in the same room? Sometimes when I really need a good night's sleep, I will send them upstairs. But when also a lot of times we will sleep together in the king size bed, all three of us, or sometimes Stefan will go upstairs and our bed alone. So it just really depends on what's going on.
What sane woman would think that that kind of co-sleeping arrangement is healthy and sane
on that night with our schedules and what we're doing?
She said they have two roommates and another child that sleeps there sometimes, and that
I answered my own question with showing you the Woody Allen thing. I mean, obviously she knew that it was wrong, because you don't say you don't want your daughter to Woody Allen you if you're not suspicious of something. And to me right there, that should be illegal. If the mother is suspicious that their child is being harmed in any way, they have an obligation to help them, to protect them. I have very little patience for mothers that don't protect.
Maddie's bedroom is downstairs in the living room. She told investigators she thought that her daughter was getting ready for school the next morning, but she never actually saw her. She said she got up and went to a doctor's appointment and then got back to the house about 11 a.m.
When you got back, was Stefan here? I'm pretty sure he was, yeah. What was he doing? Just sitting in my room at my computer desk on his phone. Okay. What did you guys do? We chatted for a little bit. I asked him what had happened because he had called me earlier.
He's like just trying to sound so matter of fact here too. Hey, Tony. She's just as guilty, if not more, for enabling Stephen Stearns. I agree. To share a bed with Maddie to begin with, it's so disgusting to me. My theory is the police are probing Stephen for evidence they can use to charge Jennifer. I hope you're right in that theory. I really do. Hi, by the way. If she did anything, Stephen will be convinced to. I think if she was in on it in any way, that he will flip on her for sure. For sure. If it could save his life, because yeah, he will for sure turn on her, and we'll find out that way. So hopefully, I mean, if she did something with him, because how could they co-sleep together and have Maddie in the middle? Oh God, it's just, that makes me sick. F. Breli says, I'm glad you're doing this. I'm familiar with the case, have seen some of it, but never watched from me either. That's why I'm doing it from beginning and everything. I did find on Plunder, they have it all, and I started with it last night. Okay, yeah, see, I haven't watched it from start to finish, and I thought it would be really good to do that with you guys, because I know the case is coming up, and I live in Florida, and I would like to actually go to the court to report on it for you guys. So that's what we're doing, and I'm glad that you're doing. Plunder's a great channel. Great channel.
At 10, pretty sure he called me around 10:18.
But according to investigators, that wasn't true, because Stearns had already been seen driving out of the complex on video with a little girl slumped over in the front seat. Jen said it wasn't until after Madeline Soto did not come out of the school and was told she wasn't actually there all day that she started to worry.
That's when I knew something was truly wrong. And I'm not before that email or after that email, but I started panicking and freaking out because she should have been to school. She should have made it.
Jen's answers were hard to come by sometimes, and she told investigators she had taken medicine and was a little spacey, but nothing in this interview or any of the other evidence we received has given detectives a reason to charge her. So something else Jen Soto told the investigators, she said that Stephen Stearns did not go with her to pick up Madeline Soto at school because he said he had a flat tire. Now that's true. Well, at least the flat tire part. He changed that tire near the same location where Madeline's body was found. Now, Greg, something important here, that it doesn't mean she'll never be charged. If investigators find something else that would warrant charges, they would do that. But at least right now, this is where we stand.
So many parts of that interview, Shannon, so disturbing, including the little girl sleeping with her boyfriend and her on occasion at 13. We'll see what happens, if anything.
That seemed like it was a regular occurrence. I think it was a regular occurrence. I think that Maddie didn't even have her own room practically. Okay, so let's keep going. Over on Reddit, Jennifer Soto may still be charged as case remains open. So kind of like what the news story said at that very end. As of 9/11/24, the case remains open. Future charges against JS remain possible. And keep in mind, this is just all for educational and entertainment purposes only. My research, in my opinion. So yeah, I need to say all that. Hopefully this post will clear up the confusion that misled many of you into believing Jennifer Soto has been cleared by police of any criminal wrongdoing in the case. Sources have confirmed that Jennifer Soto has done nothing criminal so far, so she will not face charges, reported Channel 9's Shannon Butler, with the quote being attributed to anonymous sources. The quote is problematic because the newscaster is claiming Jen has been cleared but doesn't say by whom. Police became aware of this problematic quote and responded. Police Department spokeswoman Alabeth Soares told the Orlando Sentinel on Tuesday, "We don't have charges for anyone else in this case at this time." Soares was responding to a WFTV report citing anonymous sources claiming police don't intend to make further arrests. The anonymous quote at the beginning of this post is what they're referring to. Madeline Soto may see justice. Jennifer Soto may still be charged. So that seems to be what the general consensus is, that she could still be charged, that maybe they're building a case. And I personally hope that they are building a case, because she seems like a truly horrible person. Somebody did leave a really good comment about, I guess I do need to keep in mind that she was addicted to substances, but she wasn't protecting her daughter. She wasn't protecting her daughter. Even if she was addicted to substances, she wasn't protecting her daughter. In fact, I believe she was jealous of her daughter, because if you look at her daughter to me looks just like Jen, but upgraded. Like, she's a beautiful version of Jen. So Maddie's beautiful. Jen wasn't as beautiful. Jen produced a very beautiful daughter, and she was very jealous of that daughter, obviously. Here is a news article that I found. Could Madeline Soto's mother, Jen Soto, be charged for murder? Again, just it could possibly happen, but right now it's not happening. There's an ongoing investigation, but I thought what we could do is look at the interrogation of her mother, and read a little bit about it so that maybe we could understand Jen a little bit more. And plus, I have not watched it fully, so I think this would be a good time for us to do that. I might have to break it into 2 parts. I'm not sure. It's 2 hours long. I can do it. I always give you guys the opportunity. Do you want to watch it in its first? I'll read about it, and then we will watch it. We can either watch it in its entirety without me talking over it, or we can watch it with me stopping it and making comments here and there. So you guys decide. But while you're deciding, let's look at this article and then we'll get into it. This is from the local news. I was oblivious. Madeline Soto's mother interviewed by detectives in news footage. On Monday, the Orange County Sheriff's Office released footage, and this is obviously an old article. It was September 18th. It was last updated September 20th of 2024. But on Monday, the Orange County Sheriff Office released footage of an interview with Jennifer Soto, the mother of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, whose body was found over 6 months ago. The interview took place on March 1st, just hours before Madeline's body was recovered from a wooded area in Ocala County. The girl, Madeline Soto, was reported missing on February 26 and found dead just a couple days later, sparking a massive investigation. We went over the timeline, and I released the video to our Dragonflies tonight, and the video will be open to everybody tomorrow afternoon sometime. So we're not going to go over the timeline, but we are going to go into the interrogation.
With all kinds of people stuff.
Fine either way. Okay, so I won't talk too much. If I see something really glaring, I will stop and talk about it. Yes, I think she has immunity. That's how I don't know how they could possibly be how she could be charged, because I heard she did have immunity, and that I don't know. I can't see how I guess it just angers me that she's not going to, like, her daughter is gone, and I can see how she played a huge role in this. Huge role. Let me speed this up too. This looks like a painting I painted in high school. And this plant needs help. How long does she just sit here?
Don't mute. My name's Kevin. I work for the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I'm met Detective Smallwood from the The goal, obviously, Kissimmee Police Department's doing most of the investigation. We're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Our people, we have resources.
Hold on, I'm going to switch over to this tab instead, because I can't control the player as well. It won't let me do like 1.1 speed. Hold on a second. And he's a fast talker.
My name's Kevin. I work for the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I'm met Detective Smallwood from Kissimmee. The goal, obviously, Kissimmee Police Department's doing most of this investigation. We're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Our people, we have resources out there, obviously doing active. So it's kind of a joint effort. So Detective Smallwood's kind of, we're going to go read through the timeline of everything else. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to go from there. All right.
You want me to do the whole timeline?
Yeah, we'll start with Sunday. Maybe do Sunday.
Okay. She doesn't do that cry voice the whole time, does she? Hopefully she comes out of that. I mean, listen, I would expect any grieving mother to be doing this, but I just like she doesn't act she I feel like she's crying for herself. If she were crying truly for Maddie, I would probably feel something, but I don't feel that for her.
Sunday. Can I have tissue?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, got you.
Let me look up what he's been charged with.
So the actual tissues? No. I give you this whole.
So Sunday, birthday party. She spent the whole day at my mom's house. We celebrated with the whole family. I was at work. I just started a new job last week or the week before.
Okay. Where's that at?
Walt Disney World at Coronado Springs, front desk concierge.
Okay.
I was finishing up my last day of, no, it wasn't even my last day of training. I was still in the middle of training. Sunday in the middle of training, I couldn't miss to go to her birthday party. So I went to work. It was my family all day. She had the best day. She was so happy when I got home and I saw her. At my house around 8:30 that night. I wasn't home. She got dropped off alone. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Stefan showed up.
At your house in Kissimmee.
At my house in Kissimmee, he called me. Or he texted me.
Okay, it looks like Stefan has been charged with quite a bit. 60 new charges filed against him. The state attorney's office of the Ninth Judicial Court has filed 60 new criminal charges against Stefan Stearns, the man associated with the Madeline Soto case. Shortly after Madeline Soto's disappearance, several disturbing images and videos were found. The investigation revealed more images and videos depicting criminal acts. 8 counts of X battery on a child under 12, 5 counts of X battery with a child 12 to 18, 7 counts of lewd and lascivious M-word, 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting X performance by a child. And then he also has the first degree murder conviction. So that's what he's being charged with.
But he let me know he was there and that she was getting ready for bed. She was doing her routine. So she took her nighttime meds and she got in the shower to get ready for bed.
What meds? What does she take?
She takes hydroxyzine.
Okay. What is it for?
It's for anxiety and for sleep.
Okay.
Could she take that by herself, or would he have given that to her?
I think she took it by herself. She got home and she had already taken it.
How do you know that?
That's what he told me.
That's what he told you. Okay.
He was there when you got home? You got home, they were
You're in a situation where I can't take things that have a zine on it.
Like, I don't like her taking her meds without somebody visually watching her, because I don't want her to accidentally grab the wrong pill. She's comfortable enough to grab the pill while, but I'm like, no, I need to watch you take them.
Is there ever been an issue with that in the past where she took too many or took the wrong thing? Or just like a thought in your mind?
No, just a thought in my mind, just me being hypervigilant. I want to physically watch
I've been prescribed the hydroxine before, and I can't take it because anything that like has a zine, like cold medication type of effect to it, it actually has the reverse effect. It wires me. So stuff that's supposed to make you sleepy will wire me, and stuff that's supposed to make you wired, like daytime cold stuff, will make me sleepy. It's really weird.
Her meds and watch her grab 2, take them. I don't ever want there to be an accident of she took too many, or she took. My biggest fear is that she would take Adderall by accident.
Yeah,
her daytime.
They tried to give it to me for anxiety and sleeping. I mean, it's just kind of disturbing that a 13-year-old's been being given it, but I mean, I'm not, I'm not in her files. I don't know why she was prescribed it, but yeah, it just doesn't. It just has the opposite effect for me because it's like a for your sinuses. It clears out your sinus. It's a anything with a zine type thing. I always know it's an off-label thing.
Got it.
It's probably used for.
I got home around 10:30. I started getting ready for bed myself. I started eating and taking my meds because I have to take meds. When I went to take my meds, I realized, oh my God, I forgot to take my Saturday night's meds, which is why I felt so weird and so abnormal and not myself Sunday while I was at work. Everyone at work noticed I was acting different and not being myself, and I couldn't smile in front of the desk. I felt this wave of depression that I haven't felt in
Yeah,
years.
it's
It was
like
my bipolar symptoms coming up again, but
it's like a prescribed Benadryl that they're giving her, but it's prescribed.
I've been medicating myself for all this time. I realized I forgot to take my meds. I told you guys I need a good night's sleep. I need to take my meds. I sent them to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom so that I could get a good night's sleep.
I don't know
That.
how they're not like jumping across the sofa at her, but I guess this is their job. I mean, I'm sure being a social worker, I've sat across and heard some pretty crazy stuff, and you've got to act like it just doesn't affect you when every alarm bell is going off in your mind. Like, you've got to act completely calm and casual about the fact that you sent your 13-year-old to go sleep with your boyfriend. Like, that's just like, oh, did you? Okay.
Together
Why'd
in the
you do
same bed
that?
together, but not the easiest person to sleep with. She rolls around, she punches, she kicks. We have a king size bed, and she typically sleeps on one side, and she'll end up on my side when we wake up.
Okay.
So I asked her, I'm like, no, please, I need a good night's sleep. If you guys can go upstairs and let me sleep. I had asked Stefan to take her to school in the morning.
We'll go to Sunday. So Sunday you took your meds. What meds, if you don't mind me asking, what meds do you take? And how does it put you to sleep deep? Does it help you fall asleep, or does it help regulate you? What kind of happens when you take the meds?
So they do all of the above. They make me sleepy. They help me stay asleep, and they help me function. So I'm stable all day. They only work well if I've got a good night's sleep and if I've eaten with them the night before when I take them, or the night I take them. The medication is called Geodon. Generic brand is called Zifrazidone. I took my meds, and then I told them to start getting ready for bed, to start heading upstairs and get ready because it was already almost 11 o'clock. It's past her bedtime. She needs to go to sleep. So I sent them upstairs.
She's all trying to pretend like she's on top of Maddie's meds, but yet I think I've heard her say that they double dosed her before. This woman couldn't be bothered to go to Maddie's birthday party. She didn't even know she was missing from school. She wasn't out looking for her, and she's trying to make us think that she's on top of her medication. Well, why are you on top of her medication? Of everything else in the world that's going wrong with this girl, why are you just on top of her medication? Because you want her medicated.
I think he may have come down at one point to pee before bed, and then he went back upstairs. He uses my restroom because the roommates upstairs don't want to share a restroom with a male. Yeah, so he uses my restroom.
You're fine. Sunday night he came downstairs, maybe overnight to use the restroom.
Yeah, and then he went back upstairs and they went to sleep. Or where I think they went to sleep.
Okay.
I went to sleep. I was woken up at some time. For the longest time, I've been saying he woke me up at 8 o'clock in the morning because I assumed he was taking her to school and getting ready for school. But in reality, I don't know what time he woke me up. The sun was out a little bit. It was still a little dark. And I was very sleepy when I got up. I was kind of drunk. But he came in to walk the dog, to put the leash on the dog and walk him.
Was the dog in the room with you?
Yes.
So did he wake you up on purpose, or was it just kind of like the causation of him opening the door and you realizing somebody was there?
Yeah, the causation of him putting the leash on the dog, because the way the dog reacted, he gets very nervous and will urinate if you put the leash on him too directly. You have to be nice and talk to him. Yeah, he's a nervous dog. Yeah. So I got up to try to help him, and he said, no, go back to sleep. I'm fine. I got this. And I said, you sure? He said, yeah. So I laid back down and went to sleep. I heard noise in the kitchen, but I'm not sure who it could have been getting ready. But it could have been Stefan. It could have been any of my roommates. I fell asleep again, and I didn't wake up, I think, until 9 o'clock in the morning.
Did you ever leave the bedroom in that time frame?
No.
So he came in, you were kind of woken up, basically him interacting with the dog, but you stayed in bed, you didn't leave the bedroom. So you woke up at like 9, so you never
That morning.
Monday morning.
No.
So the last time you would have been Sunday evening?
Sunday.
Okay. You're fine. Take a minute. Okay? While you take a minute, I was going to ask you earlier, has anybody reached out to you during the time that you've been investigating this? So don't have anything else? Negative, positive, neutral?
My best friends have all been in contact with me, just to try to help me. There's like, setting up Facebook groups, flyers.
No negative interactions with the public or anything? Nobody's like reached out with tips or accusations or anything like that?
Not that I've seen. I've been avoiding social media because my family's telling me to not go on.
Would you be okay with our digital people looking at your phone to verify there's no stuff coming into socials, texts, things like that?
That's fine.
Do you have a phone?
Yeah.
What they'll do is they'll plug it in, they'll do a forensic download of it so they have the data. That way they can go through it and say, we did receive things, we didn't receive things, here's the communications in and out, things like that, so we can verify that for you.
That's fine.
What's your password on?
030288.
030288. Okay.
Is that a birthday?
My birthday.
It's your birthday?
Yeah.
Birthday's
Her
tomorrow.
birthday.
Right.
Today's the 1st. I didn't even know. It's the worst birthday ever.
She's very childlike. She's very childlike. But I mean, I do feel bad because her daughter's missing. I feel bad for Maddie at this point.
That way they can get that going, so we can get it back to you before. Here, I'll keep it from you.
So you said about 9 o'clock on
Yeah,
Monday.
we're gonna get
You
more
wake up.
into
I wake up.
analyzing.
I have a doctor's appointment. I leave sometime between 9:30 and 9:45, and I head over there. It's blood work appointment.
I want to go and do some search around the internet and see what her digital footprint is like and what Jen was doing online before all of this, and do my typical I like to see their socials and things like that. And I also want to either there's two things I wanted to look at in the case, and I have a post coming out tomorrow that I want you guys to vote on. I either want to look at the unexplained sleepwalking theory, because apparently there's I wanted to look at there's this sleepwalking theory proposed by Maddie's mother. What is genuinely possible, or a desperate attempt to deflect suspicion. Or I wanted to look at the overlooked role of the extended family, because why is the extended family, because I know the grandmother was looking after Maddie, and why did they go pick up Maddie? Why didn't they let her sleep at the house at her grandmother's? So I'm going to have you guys vote which one you want us to look at, because I want to start deep diving into
this case and really getting to know it like the back of my hand.
The appointments are 10:15, but they take a while to see me.
Where was your appointment at?
LabCorp. And do you want me to tell you exactly which one?
Sure.
Oh wait, I have my phone.
When we get back, we'll go back to it.
It's, if you need to Google it, it's the LabCorp across the street from the Loop in Kissimmee.
Okay.
I'm not sure I could laugh like that if I knew my daughter was missing.
Had my appointment. I finished there sometime between 11:15. Then I headed home. When I got home, Stefan was there. I had talked to him a little bit earlier while I was waiting for my blood work appointment, and he let me know, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I left my phone at home by accident. School, everything went great. She got up super early, got up really quick.
So she chose her boyfriend over her daughter. It's so gross when women choose sausage over what came from their womb. It just disgusts me. Sorry. I try not to be judgmental on it because I know there's probably some kind of issue in Jen, like my education does try to speak some ration into me, but I truly think this woman should be held accountable. I mean, there could be reasons to the end of time why Jen is the way Jen is, but Jen still needs to be held accountable for the way Jen is and the actions that Jen took, in my opinion.
She slept most of the way in the car. I asked her multiple times if she wanted McDonald's, but she said no. Because that was the plan, was that they were gonna stop at McDonald's that morning and go get breakfast.
What kid says no to McDonald's on the way
He
to
said
school?
that he had gone to the bake shop and they were closed, they didn't open. So he waited there for a while and left, and then said he was gonna go back later.
Exactly. It was a big birthday.
When I saw him at the house, everything was normal. We were chatting, we were talking. He was acting normal. He was sitting in my computer chair, just messing around on his phone. While we were hanging out, he mentioned something along the lines of, "Oh man, I've been avoiding this phone update for a really long time. I should probably update it now." And I said, "Do it. Don't avoid it. Just get it over with." And he updates his phone and then tells me, "Oh my God, I don't know what button I just pressed, but I just factory reset my entire phone."
Whatever.
And I said, "How the hell does that happen? That gives you options now when you reset your phone?" He goes, "Yeah, apparently I wasn't paying attention and I just pressed the button and it happened." And I said, "Oh, that's unfortunate. That sucks."
He's got some oceanfront property he wants to sell you in
Later
Ohio,
on,
Jen.
he tells me he's going to go back out, and I think this is around 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Still on Monday?
Yes, still Monday. 12:30 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He tells me he's going to go back out. He's going to stop at a few gaming shops, and then he'll meet me at the house at 2:30 so we can get together. He left. I hung out in the house for a while, waiting for 2:30 to roll around. 2:30 rolls around, and I'm already calling Stefan.
I was watching Vinnie Politan today, and he said like Stefan really never worked, and when he did work, he worked at Disney with around kids taking tickets, and he like played with games. He just everything he did, and I'm not against collectors and people gaming, but everything he did was like teen based. Didn't that send some warning bells off, Jen?
And he's not picking up his phone. 2:30 comes, I leave. About 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from him going, "I just got back home. I left my phone home again. I'm so sorry. How long ago did you leave?" And I said, "About 10 minutes ago." He goes, "I'm so sorry. I missed it. I really wanted to go with you." And I'm just like, "It's fine." I figured he wasn't going to make it because when I looked at the time when he left and said he was going to.
I think there's a special kind of karma for people that don't protect their children And I just am glad that I don't ever have to deal with that kind of karma. I just know that it's must be a tragic sense of failure on their part. And I can't imagine feeling that sense of failure. And I don't know. I don't know. It must be one of the hardest things to come back from, that feeling of failure, failing somebody on that huge of a level.
It was at 3 shops. I didn't think he had enough time to visit them. He told me while he was gone that he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. The wheel just shredded and fell apart. So he was changing the tire, and it took him a really long time to do it. He said he hurt his thumb while changing the tire, like the frame or something slipped and something pinched his finger, and he ended up having to yank it out. And he said he hurt his finger.
I want to touch on something real quick. When you were calling him, he eventually told you that he left his phone there. Did you hear the phone at the house?
No. If it was anywhere, it would have been upstairs and I wouldn't have heard it. It would have been in the guest
Do
bedroom.
you typically go upstairs?
Who, me?
I've collected things throughout my life. I just think that the extent that he did it, everything he did was teen based. Nothing. Even somebody went over that Melon. Who was it that I said at the beginning? What was her name? Rotten Mango. They went over Stefan's Reddit post, because she was the one that said, if you ever really want to know who your man or your well, I think it's your man truly is, go over to Reddit and look at their post before you got into a relationship with them, or even, try to find their Reddit username, because for whatever reason men feel empowered to post whatever they want. They had one woman's example where she went in and she found out that the man she had been dating for 2.5 years, when they were just starting to date, was going on soliciting women. And so he was doing that when they were first starting to date, and they've since been dating 2.5 years. They weren't committed at the time, but she doesn't know what to do with it. So they were like, warning, don't do that unless you really want to know what's up. And they did it with him, and he was doing very alarming stuff, you guys. It was very alarming. We'll go over it sometime. I will, but if you want to, go down that rabbit hole, this is the Rotten Mango is where I found it, and you'll find the link in the show notes if you want to go ahead of me before I get to it to show it to you guys, because we're not going to watch it tonight.
Only from doing laundry.
I was just curious if you had heard the phone when you were trying to call him that day.
I didn't. So he tells me all that. I get off the phone with him. I'm waiting. I wait for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. 4:04, the bell rings, and I'm waiting. I'm the first in line.
Oh my stars! Oh my
And
Atlanta!
she doesn't come out.
You were in your car?
I was in my car, in the car line, yeah. At this point, it's been a few minutes. She should have been out by now, because she's usually one of the first kids out. She knows I'm in the front of the line. And I'm holding up the line behind me, because there's kids getting in the cars behind me. They're all waiting. They can't get around me, right? So I start calling her.
That's a
forgetting
good point.
that I have her phone on me.
That's a good point. If they don't have jobs and they don't have money, that is the red flag, because I have a lot of friends that are just beautiful, geeky men, and they are gainfully employed. And in fact, they tend to have more money than other men. So good point.
I had found her phone earlier that morning. She had left it at home. And I brought it with me because she does this often. She does leave her phone.
I don't want to shoot
It was
on
top of
collectors and geeky people, because I am a geek. I'm not collecting anything these days, but I used to collect stuff. And so no, not saying it makes you an instant P word. It doesn't. It literally doesn't. But I mean, this guy had so many things stacked up that it gives me a permanent eyebrow up.
dresser in her bedroom.
Downstairs? Under a bed in your house?
Downstairs.
Okay.
So, just so you know, I have a 4-bedroom townhouse.
Okay.
The living room has a partition in it, a fake wall kind of thing. That's got her bedroom in it. That's got a bed, a dresser, and a desk on it. Does she sleep there? No. She'll hang out there. She'll use her computer and hang out there. That's her hangout spot. But she primarily sleeps with me every night in my bed. That's because I know the roommates wake up super early in the morning. They're going to be in the kitchen. They're going to wake her up if she's sleeping out in the living room. So I don't.
So your bedroom downstairs, her makeshift bedroom downstairs, guest bedroom upstairs.
Yes.
Got it.
Her phone was on her dresser. When I found it, I was like, oh my God, she's on the phone. It's great. I brought it with me to the school because I was just going to yell at her and then just hand it to her so she could have something to do on our way home. 4:10 rolls around and she's still not out. Or 4:09. And then at this point, I'm feeling the pressure from the cars behind me. I'm like, okay, they're all
big into that one, wasn't he? He was huge into that one.
They're all waiting for me to leave and she's not here yet. So I take off. And I'm thinking, maybe I missed her. Maybe I forgot to tell her I was picking her up from school today because I don't know if she knew that I wasn't working. I don't know if she knew if I was off. So I asked, I don't know if I told her that I was going to get her.
Hey,
so
Laura.
I left thinking maybe she walked. That's pretty close to school. If I can't pick her up at school, that's where I tell her. I drove the path she would have walked. I didn't see her. I got to the office. And she goes, no, it's a little too early. And I said, okay, let me go drive back down, wait along the path she would walk, and just wait. And I parked and I waited. I waited. I'm not sure how long I waited. Maybe somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes. She still wasn't there, and I looked at the time and I'm like, okay, she should be back around mom's office by now. Maybe she took a different path and I didn't see. So I went, no, she's still not here. And I'm like, that's really strange. So I call. I don't know if I text or I call. I think I text her.
It's building miniatures.
And I asked, hey, or I called. No, I called her. I asked, and she said, no, she didn't make it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean? She was dropped off close to the school. She should have been in school. She goes, no, she didn't make it to first, second period. I said, please check with the rest of your friends, see if she made it to any of her other periods. At some point in this, I emailed one of her teachers asking, I actually emailed a few of her teachers, and 2 of them responded. One of them said, no, she did not make it to class, and I checked her attendance for the rest of the day. She wasn't in school at all. Like, he sent me a screenshot of like her attendance, and it said 0, 0, 0.
You still have that info?
Yes.
Okay.
If you need to know what app, I'll tell you what app. It's a special school app.
Got it.
He said she was missing all day. And at this point, I started to panic and freak out because that can't be the case. She was dropped off. I had to go check her attendance at school, but the office had closed already. The lights were off. I could see a student sitting in there in the darkness, but I couldn't see any of the administrators or anybody in the office. Lights were off, everything was closed. They wouldn't allow me in. I think at this point, the teacher had responded to me and told me she didn't make it to school at all. I start having like a freak out panic attack.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I thought it wasn't.
Are you still just you at this point? Is it you and Stefan?
It's me and my sister. And I want to say one of Catherine. I start panicking. And I think at this point, I call Stefan and I tell him, hey, because she didn't make it. She's absent today. There's no attendance of her at all today. I'm like, right now. And he said, okay, I'll be there. And he came to the office. And
Well, that's annoying that they're blanking out her name.
there for like 3 hours, I think. Eventually I contact one of my friends whose husband works, or ex-husband works for OCP, or for you guys.
Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I messaged him and I talked to
you
him and
hear
asked him what I should
today?
be doing because
I
you
heard
guys aren't.
today that Stefan is trying to block everybody from being allowed in the court. Like he doesn't even like it's not even he doesn't want even reporters or the public or anybody to sit in on his case. He somehow thinks his case is worth being privated completely. And it's Florida. I mean, it's Florida. That's why there's so many Florida man and Florida woman. Everything's open in Florida.
Responding quick enough.
You know his name? Where he works?
Yes. Nick Mann.
Okay.
Or Mihan.
Do you know what he does here?
I think he works for SWAT.
Okay.
Sure.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if
He
they're
tell you
going
to
to
wait?
charge her. I don't have a feeling on it yet.
I can't remember anymore. I think he let us know that there were other kids missing in the area, which is why you guys weren't responding quick enough.
It sounds like a fun game.
I think an 8 and a 9-year-old had gone missing around the same time too. In a playground, they forgot to tell. They didn't tell their mom they were going to the playground or something like that. So all the cops were over there on that side of Hunter Street. My sister's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever he is, thought it would be a good idea to go to the park and talk to a cop there and see if he could bring a cop back, and that's what he did.
Okay.
And then at that point, that's when the cops started asking us questions, taking a report. Interviewing me, they interviewed Stefan. They asked Stefan to take them back to the location where he dropped them off, and he showed them wherever he dropped her off. They were looking for cameras along the path, and I don't think they found any cameras along the way. See if there's any video recordings. I think.
Did Stefan go with them in their patrol cars, or did he drive himself and they followed? How did that work?
I think he went with them in the patrol car. Then they came back. And then that's it. Everything was done. Cops were done. We were done.
What time? You remember what time that was on Monday?
It was after dark. It was like 8 o'clock.
What did you guys go do after that?
We were in separate cars, me and Stefan.
Okay.
I ugly cried on the way home. I shouldn't have been driving. But I ugly cried on the way home, and I went straight home. And then the first thing I did was call Fox 35 News to see if we can air some missing children information out there.
When you say ugly crying, just overly emotional tears, makeup running, or is there what is your meaning of ugly crying?
Sobbing where I couldn't see the road,
When?
and I shouldn't have been driving. I was swerving.
Makes sense.
Right. And she's so irritated by this.
Did Fox 35 come out to your house, or what was their response?
They responded the following day. I think we did a Zoom video interview.
Did Stefan follow you home?
The
He didn't
size.
follow me, but he drove home. Yeah.
I mean, was it within a reasonable time when you got there?
Yes.
Oh.
I think I'm going to have to give some size
He waited
out.
there. He didn't know what to do.
This woman.
I stayed up late. I think I called Fox 35. What else did I do? I think I had to eventually eat and take my medication. He told me he was going to go out cruising that night to go look for her.
It's gotten
And I said,
I have noticed that she's gotten a little more aggressive. The answering is getting progressively a little more aggressive. She's irritated and she's getting defensive.
I would question that. I asked him, are you sure it's a good idea? You should probably sit tight. Let's just wait to see if she comes home. And he said he was going to take a drive out. I had completely forgotten about him wanting to take the drive or that he actually did it. And it wasn't confirmed to me until the following day where agents came to the house and we sat in the car for a good amount of time. And I noticed the chair was adjusted. And I said, did you drive my car? And he said, yeah, remember I said I was going out last night? That's right, you did say that.
Can he tell you where you looked?
I think he said up and down 192. And I said, why there? And he's like, I don't know, I'm just looking. I was just trying to look anywhere. And I'm just like, okay.
She's weird because she comes out with
Did you say if you
something
found anything or talked to anybody?
where she's like, and I said to him, why there? Where she sounds like she's very suspicious of him sitting right here. And this is before she was even found. She seems very suspicious.
Or just robbed?
Yeah, well.
Which makes me suspicious of her.
When you were getting ready for bed, you were tired, emotional, were you falling asleep when he left, or were you already asleep when he left?
I was already asleep when he left.
Okay, did you sleep downstairs? In your bedroom? When you woke up, was he already awake? Was he still sleeping?
He was asleep in his bedroom upstairs.
The guest bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you take your medication that day?
I did.
What did you guys do Tuesday? Or just you? You guys, if you're not together, you're not together. What's the timeline on Tuesday?
Tuesday, he slept. I woke up early and started making phone calls to like the National Hotline for Missing and Exploited Children. I called the number that the sheriff's office had given me to see if they had any information, and they let me know that she was like the what did she say she was? I don't remember.
Yeah,
what
I'd be
position was.
really
She had just
pissed.
gotten into the office and was just starting to work on it, so she didn't have anything new for me.
But it would be like,
her name is Bonnie Mitchell. I remember that.
if I thought somebody did something to my daughter, it would level beyond pissed. It would be like furious. Like, what are we gonna do? We've got to do something. Like it would be more intense, and I think that's what you're saying too. It's just hers is more annoyance towards the police officers, and maybe that she has to be here doing this, and I don't know.
She asked me to send her some photos. The National Exploited Children's Hotline Police asked me for photos as well. I think at this point,
she's like, when I'm mad and I say something and I say I'm so mad, but it doesn't sound like I'm mad, but like inside, trust me, I'm mad, but I'm controlling it. But I wouldn't be able to control it. It would be like come out like a fury of I don't know. And I would be, I don't know. I'd be shaking, crying. I wouldn't be this. But we could never say how we would be, how another person should be, because she doesn't have the same background. She didn't grow up the way I grew up. She doesn't have the same things that I have. So you can never put how you would be. But just generally, you would think it would be more, just a little bit more than what it is.
I had asked my friends and family to start contacting news outlets to try to get as much attention on this as possible. And
I guess we also know that she's done
I had a lot
other
of phone calls
things.
coming in, and I was picking all of them up, hoping that any of them could help me.
So I am looking at this through some
Or
lens
people who had
of,
seen my phone on my phone number on a flyer and was trying to give me suggestions. Somebody letting me know that they took flyers all the way to Orlando International Airport and posted them all over the place in case she was being trafficked. They suggested that I go to Amtrak and Greyhound. I had my sister making all these runs for me. I didn't leave the house to do any of this.
Stefan's still asleep?
Yeah. Eventually, reporters come to the house and do an interview. And at this point, Stefan was awake. I did an interview with them. And then Stefan was crying in the background. And I said, Stefan, do you want to do the interview? You can if you want. And he sat in front of the camera and did an interview where he cried.
Do you know which news outlet that was with? I know there's a video on Fox 35
with
him
sitting
to be on like a webcam.
Yeah, that was Zoom. He was sitting in the background for me.
Okay.
I know
but
that
you
one.
had in-person interviews with reporters?
Yes. I want to say it was Channel 9.
Okay.
Yeah, Channel 9.
And he spoke to them?
Yes.
Okay.
And he ugly cried in front of the camera too, so he was fucking fake sob crying.
There's a little more anger.
Are you saying that now, or do you?
I'm saying that now. I didn't think that at the time. At the time, I thought he was truly heartbroken and not that he had done all this shit to her. Like, I look back at shit now and just like, he was fucking lying. He was fucking faking. What else has he been lying to me about? I know he's like a master liar manipulator because he's done it to his parents, and he's told me and shown me the lies he's done to his parents. But I don't know why I never thought, not me.
The lies are about money. They're about where he's at, what he's doing. What's he?
Yeah, all that.
To his parents.
Yeah, he's stolen money from his parents. He used to have a few $1,000s hidden in like a closet for emergency fund kind of thing. And during COVID, he stole he wanted RC cars. See, if he wants something, he's gonna get it, no matter what. So he wanted RC vehicles, the remote control cars, fancy ones. They were a few $100s, and I'm poor. I know I can't afford it, and he's showing up at home with these things. And I asked him, "Where are you getting the money from? Because we don't have this money." He goes, "Oh, my dad." And I said, "Your dad gave you money?" He goes, "No, I took some from his closet." And I was like, they have an emergency stash? And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, he's gonna notice money's missing. And he's like, "No, he won't. It's so much money in there, he won't notice at all." I've confirmed with Chris later on that he did notice money, but he never asked his son.
Well, and she wasn't charging him to live at her house. She was having roommates so that he could stay with her for free. So instead of getting money from him, she decided to bring more people into Maddie's life that could possibly harm her. And oh, jeez.
But I let him know, yeah, he was robbing you and just buying himself toys. He's also lied. Most recently, he lied to his parents about where he would.
Bravo, Jen. Get him now. Get him after the fact. After he did all of this to your daughter, you go after him now, and you show him. I guess you showed him by telling his dad on him. Jeez.
He told him he would be at his friend's house playing video or board games or something like that, but in reality, he came all the way to Kissimmee to hang out with us.
Okay. But you guys were together Wednesday? After all the interviews, did you say Wednesday? Would you? I know
Yes.
we had some detectives go meet you guys on Wednesday, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Were you guys in the house together until the detectives came?
Yes.
What kind of happened after the detectives came?
Do you feel like everything starts to get blurry?
Well, I get it. Trust me. We've been in this office for 3 days straight.
Yeah, so I just don't remember what day I had conversation with you guys.
Tuesday night, Orange County detectives came out there because I ended up coming out Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember seeing me or not that night.
Okay.
That was the first night we were at the apartment into the nighttime.
Yeah, is that when you guys shut down the house for forensics?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Tell us about that.
Okay. So earlier that day, I think Detective Hunt came, or somebody came, and asked Stefan for his cell phone. If he would willingly give it up so that they can look at it, need a warrant. And I remember him saying, "Should I have asked a warrant? Should I have?" And I'm like, "No, you got nothing to hide. Give him your fucking phone." And I think we hung out in the house for a little bit, and then when you guys came in the evening and you guys told us to wait outside and we waited in my car, he started getting very anxious and very panicky, going, "I want my phone back. I want my phone back." And I said, "Listen, at this point, it's their phone. It's theirs for fucking ever. I don't give a shit. We will buy you a new phone. It doesn't matter anymore. Whatever they need, they need. Let them look at it." And he's like, "I just want my phone back." And I'm just like, are you trying to make yourself more suspicious? Because if you were to go demand your phone back right now, that would look suspicious as fuck. What are you doing?
Why is she talking to him about looking suspicious?
I'm thinking he's just getting impatient because he's bored and wants to play on his phone. And at one point, he takes my phone to start playing with it. I give it up, and I said, "Here, play on my phone. Have fun." Because I think from my phone, he was trying to log into his emails, but he couldn't because you need two-factor authentication from your own phone. And I'm just like, "What are you trying to look at?" And he's like, "Oh, my shipments, my packages." He's addicted to buying shit. That's another thing. Me and his dad couldn't figure out where Stefan was getting money from to buy stuff since he's been unemployed the last 2 months, but he's constantly buying himself packages, buying himself things off Amazon, buying himself things off the line.
Is this stuff you can confirm, or you think he's doing this?
What?
Buying packages.
I can confirm because I am linked to his Amazon account, and his parents can confirm whatever UPS packages or whatever he's getting at home. But I'm linked to his Amazon account. If you guys have my phone, you'll see whatever shipment. I think most recently I did like birthday party.
He was buying a lot of stuff because in watching that Reddit thing, they showed all these little pocket computers where you try to keep the pet alive. I forget what they're called, but they're computer pets. And he used to collect those, and he had like tons of them, and those weren't cheap. So where was he getting the money?
If you see birthday party stuff, that was me. But everything else, him. He's constantly buying stuff and he doesn't have money. He keeps saying he's got money in his savings, but me and his dad called bullshit because he hasn't had, when he lived with us, he was struggling. His dad was helping him pay his bills, paying his rent, paying his gas, paying his insurance. Stefan was helping us, supporting us by buying food and all that stuff. But I don't know what he did with the rest of his money. And I don't know where he's getting money from now.
You were telling us that he was trying to log into his emails.
So he's trying to log into his emails on his phone. And I said, two-factor authentication, you can't do anything. You're just going to have to wait till you get your phone back. What else? We waited in the car. I think at this point, when I noticed that forensics was locking down the house and you guys said we couldn't come back, I told him to call his dad. Because I had a feeling y'all knew something and it was going to come down on him. And I'm just like, they're focusing on the wrong person. They have the wrong person. In my head, I'm convinced you guys are that you had the wrong person. I wanted to think that he was good.
Before we get ahead of that, what is the conversation like between you two when you're in the car? Because y'all were in there for a good while we were trying to figure things out at your apartment complex or your condo. What's the conversation like inside that car?
I'm trying to think back to what exactly we were talking about. I know I remember late in the evening, like.
You can't remember that conversation?
When you guys let us know we couldn't come back, and I called his dad, or we called his dad. I started saying to him, like, I think they're focusing in on you. Like, we need to call your dad, and I think we need to get you a lawyer. I feel like they're focusing on the wrong person. And he kept saying the same thing. He kept repeating what I was repeating. That they're focusing on the wrong person. They're wasting time there.
How did he feel when you said he needs a lawyer?
He didn't believe me. Like, when I told him, like, don't you see forensics is closing down the house? They fucking know something, or there's something, like, they know something. Something's happening. They wouldn't be locking down the house this way if they didn't have suspicions of something. But I wasn't thinking, I don't know why I wasn't thinking him. Like, I was just like, no, they've got the wrong guy.
Because you've always taken his side.
He just kept saying that they have the wrong guy, that they're focusing on the wrong person and that we're wasting time. And we call his dad. We tell his dad to come down here and meet us at a hotel. That was another thing. I don't have that much money. I live off disability. I couldn't afford to put us up on a hotel. Like, when you guys said that we couldn't return, I was like, I didn't know where to go. I was trying to think if any family member would have a spare room or anything like that, and not that could take the three of us. When I say three of us, I mean him and the dog. And I know at my mom's house we wouldn't have been welcome. My mom does not like Stefan. She's never liked Stefan. So I knew that our only option was to go to a hotel, but I couldn't afford it. So we called Chris, and Chris met us at a hotel by Disney.
Okay.
Off off of Western Way, and that's where we went. We got there pretty late. We checked in. I used the restroom, and I was getting ready for bed, or getting like laying down in bed probably around 3:30, 3:45 in the morning, and I fell asleep. Stefan was already asleep at this point.
Did you go straight to sleep when you got in, or just kind of drifted off as you were falling
Sleeping
asleep?
like a baby.
Then you went to the bathroom. Did you go straight to bed?
He was already in bed before I went to the bathroom.
Okay.
I was on my phone for a little bit. He was laying in bed snoozing. I went to use the restroom. I was in the restroom for quite a while because I had like a terrible cell. When I came back out, he was asleep. At least I thought he was asleep. But
His dad stay with you guys?
not in the hotel room. He stayed in a different room on the same floor.
Okay.
The following morning, I wake up, I think around 9 o'clock in the morning,
She went to sleep too.
and Stefan's
Interesting.
not there.
She slept
And I remember thinking,
and woke up at 9.
he left again without his phone and didn't tell anyone where he was going. That's suspicious as fuck again. Why is he trying to?
Well, we took his phone, so he got a new phone.
He didn't get the new phone until later.
He shows anger when he does things that she finds to be suspicious, that she finds is a lie to her. Not that he unalived her daughter, that's a lie to her.
That day, where his dad woke up, came to our hotel room, and then handed him a phone.
Okay.
And said, "Here, have this phone in the meantime until you get your old phone back."
How's you just saying he's out and about with no phone?
Yeah, he's out and about with no phone, so there's no way for us to contact him. There's no way for us to. I didn't know if he even knew how to get back to the hotel because I drove that night. He's a little oblivious to when it comes to directions. So I'm just like, he's gonna even figure out how to get here. But he rolled in around 11:15. Rolled in with a cup of Wawa and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just driving around. I grabbed some Wawa on 182 and got lost. I didn't know how to get back to the hotel, but I'm here now." And I'm just like, detectives are about to show up. What the fuck would have happened if they showed up and you weren't here? Like, you would have been a fugitive. Like, what are you doing? And he was just apologetic about not telling anyone where he went.
But you know, I mean, he had a Wawa cop. He said he was up at 192.
Yeah, but in reality, I know that he truly took my car in the middle of the night to Northport, Florida, and was down there for an hour and came back. I didn't suspect that at all.
Okay.
I literally thought, I'm like, oh, this man, we were right next to like a Target. So I'm thinking, oh, he's probably like stress shopping, just looking at stuff. He likes to browse. I'm just like, maybe he's in there somewhere. But I didn't have a car.
Your daughter is missing and your boyfriend takes your car in the middle of the night. You think he's just off at a Target?
I couldn't go out. And also, detectives were coming, so I didn't want to leave. Detectives eventually show up. We were in the hotel room for a while. He went back to sleep and slept. I took a little snooze for a little bit that morning, and then I got up and then I went downstairs to the lobby and I saw Chris. And Chris asked if I wanted some lunch, so we went to the hotel bar and ate some lunch. We brought up some lunch back for Stefan. Told him to eat a little bit. When he woke up, he took like 2 bites. Then the detective showed up. We went downstairs. They let us know there was a press conference happening, which we already had an idea was going to happen. And they told us they would give us a ride and escort us to the conference here. And then you guys would let us in the back way so that media wouldn't see us. But in reality, now I know that was just to interview guys to us. But yeah, then we showed up here and got separated. Haven't heard from him since. Haven't spoken to him since. Have no interest in speaking to him at all.
Well, bravo for you, lady.
Yeah, I was with them. Then we got interviewed.
What have you done since? Like, where did you go back to the hotel? Do you stay somewhere else?
No. So after the interview and all that stuff, Chris took me to my sister's house. I've been at my sister's house ever since.
Cool.
yesterday I went out for a little bit to go to Target to try to take my mind off of things. I went to Target to go get myself a toothbrush and deodorant, things that I didn't have because I left the house the last second. I also went to my ex-husband's wife's mom's house. It's complicated, but we're all friends.
So,
Yeah. And they consoled me. They just kept me company. They made lunch. Then I went back to my sister's house, and I've just been pretty much there ever since. When I went to Target, I decided like, oh shit, I shouldn't be out in public. People could recognize me. It could either be good or bad, but people could tell
So
me.
is her ex-husband's wife's mom's house, is that Maddie's wife's mom's house, or is it somebody else? And what is, I guess I don't even know what Maddie's dad is saying about any of that. Hey, Cosmic Crumb. Yeah, she discussed me too.
I've already had people recognize me in my community, and dealing with people's heavy emotions and them coming to me and crying and telling me they're so sorry and how they feel is so
Why
heavy.
would she want to be out in public? I don't understand.
Because like I just have to kind of stand there and take their emotions and like.
Oh, she's gonna take their emotions.
It's
What
so
a
heavy.
Trooper!
When I realized that these are the interactions I was having in public, I'm like, I need to stay home because I just can't.
Stay home.
I can't carry anyone
Who would
else's
go
emotions
out
right now. I have my
anyway?
own to deal with. Like my own. I don't want my own mental health suffering right now, or for me to spiral and end up.
Why would you go out? You can order DoorDash.
When did you meet Steven or Stephen?
I met Stefan in 2017.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into
We both
who her
worked for
dad
Eco
is.
Homes, a real estate company. I did appointments, and he worked in the office doing like warranty work.
That'll go in the extended family.
We met as coworkers. We became really good friends. We were best friends for like a year. And then eventually I asked him if he wanted to hook up, and he said, sure. And yeah.
You said 17, 18. Did you live in Orlando, Kissimmee? Where were you guys sitting then?
Kissimmee.
And did you guys live together in 17?
He technically lived at his parents' house, but he was staying at my house all the time.
Okay. Same house you're in now or a different house?
Wait, I take it back. In 2017, he wasn't staying over my house. It started in 2018 when we started hooking up, and he started sleeping over my house.
Okay.
And what were your next question?
Was that in the current
Yes.
house you live in now?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you lived in that house?
On and off, because at one point we moved close to where his parents live right now. They live in Northport, Florida, Sarasota County. I lived in Port Charlotte, which is Charlotte County, the county right next door. We had an apartment there for like 6 to 8 months. We moved down there because, again, Stefan was promised a job and that fell through. So we supported ourselves in this tiny apartment for a little while until I ran out of funds.
Do you remember what year that was?
2020.
So when did you live in Port Charlotte? 2020.
I don't remember what month I moved in, but I remember moving out in November.
Oh, 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was some. April, maybe.
That's fine. It was fine. We can look up if we need to later. Yeah. 17. In 2017. 2018. 6.
Ugh, this redacting is annoying. Oh my gosh. They took out a lot right here. What is it they're talking about right here that they had to take this whole segment out? And how long does it last? So it looks like they're talking about how they met, and when she talked about how they met, that they hooked up for a while first, and then they started living together. And I guess now they're talking about where. Let me move it forward. No, there it starts talking right there.
Around March 20th, decided he wanted to renovate the house and possibly sell it. So he told us to get out. So March 2020, so around COVID time, like 2 weeks after COVID was announced, I moved in with my mom.
Okay.
And I lived with her for a little bit. And then the Port Charlotte apartment happened. We moved to Port Charlotte, were there for a few months, came back to live with my mom, was there for a few months, and then I decided to move back. That he was moving out and like getting an RV and like living the RV life. So he needed somebody to take care of the house for him. So I said, yeah, I would do it, of course. So I moved in. I moved into his bedroom, downstairs, the master bedroom. Eventually, Stefan did come.
Obviously, he came.
For a few years. It wasn't until like June of last year that
This redaction stuff is like, I didn't know it did this.
I go upstairs to the guest bedroom upstairs because I just he's not a very clean guy. He's kind of a little hoarder, a collector. So just my house was always a mess and never the way that I wanted it to look. Or the clutter just gave me anxiety. So I asked him to move upstairs and he did. And he lived upstairs until until December of last year. And then he moved to Northport, Florida with his parents. But they had promised him a job, but that fell through. So we were in the process of trying to get him to come back up here to get his job back at Disney and for him to move back into the house for a little bit. And I'm not sure long term. I know temporarily I was willing to accept him back.
Was that something out of convenience for him or because you?
A little bit of both. We missed him. And I wanted to help him out, like make it easy, like give him a place, like a base to start at, and then for him to start looking for something else afterwards, on his own. But yeah.
You obviously.
Oh boy.
Talk a lot. Is she a secret teenager? What is like your kind of day to day with her?
I would have said a normal relationship. I asked, she would tell me. I didn't think she was hiding anything from me. I didn't think she was lying to me about anything, but obviously she had secrets.
I mean, the hindsight, all the stuff you found out over the past couple of days, we're like taking that out of the picture, your relationship with her.
Okay.
Like not looking back saying, okay, I was being lied to. Like up until you found out some things that you've been told. You guys had an open communication relationship. You talk about
everything.
Life.
Yeah. If anything, she was a little bit more open with Stefan because she told him about a boy she had a crush on.
Okay.
And that his name was.
Yeah, she probably told him about it because he was probably probing her and she probably wanted him to leave her alone. Oh.
And she described him. And Stefan's like, are you aware that she has a crush on a boy? I said, no. He's like, yeah. She told me his name, that he's tall and that she likes his fluffy hair.
When was this? Remember when this conversation happened?
Within the last week, sometime. I'm not sure.
Okay.
She's not even crying.
Like,
She's counting that her 13-year-old daughter had her first crush or whatever that she learned about. It's just mind-boggling to me.
So we saw. So within a week of that Sunday, I'm not sure if if she had told him via phone chat. It must have been via phone, like phone conference, like we don't FaceTime, we Google Meet.
The Android
version of FaceTime, yeah. So we would Google Meet often. Sometimes when we get home from school, just talk all day, or sometimes not even talk all day. We would just bullshit. I would be doing my own thing. We're just keeping each other company on the phone. And I think in one of those conversations, she told him that she had a crush on a boy. But I checked those text messages with that boy, and nothing seemed weird either.
Okay. How did he? It could be new. She sees a guy at school. She thinks attractive. He shows her attention. She shows. How did he take it? Was he like, and I want you to think back before you know things you know now. Like, did he seem concerned about her? Did he seem excited for her? Like she's starting to, be a kid, have crushes and everything else.
He seemed happy for her.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, did you hear this? This is super cute. And I was like, oh, I hadn't. She hadn't told me. And I wondered, I'm like, why didn't she tell me? Why'd you tell him and not me? Like, I want to know who she got a crush on. But maybe it's because I told her that she had a rule. She wasn't allowed to date for a few years.
Okay.
Until like, I think I had said 16 or something like that. But I didn't want her dating.
So then your relationship with her was open. Obviously, she's a child. She's not going to share everything.
Yeah.
With him, it seems like she has a very open relationship with him. They talk, they hang out.
Hey guys, be sure to give this live a thumbs up. Help
So it'd be okay with you if they went out and did things together outside if you were at work or something?
What names are they saying?
The living situation with them, I'll be honest, seems weird. It's weird to me.
Oh, they must be talking about the roommates.
What's kind of the mindset or the thought process, the communication you've had with Stefan about, she's not going to sleep in her bed, but you guys are going to go sleep in the guest bedroom?
So originally the plan was that all three of us were going to sleep in my bed together.
Oh God, this makes me so
I'm
mad.
not just saying Sunday, I mean like.
God, this makes me mad.
Oh, okay. So
the sleeping situation.
I had a rule. She wasn't allowed to sleep in his bedroom at all. Like no sleepovers, no nothing.
Why?
For a very long time.
Why? Seems like a good rule, but why?
Since we're pausing, what brought that on? Was that like a request of his, like, can we sleep in the same bed, request of hers, or you just saying?
Me being super paranoid, not to trust anyone. For the longest life, even though he treated her well, I still looked at him on, like side-eyed, like making sure, like, is that normal? Is this okay? That was normal. Okay. I wanted to make sure that nothing was happening and that I was missing something, but
people don't do that. Why? I mean,
he never requested. I'm sorry. Repeat the question then.
You might do it in the beginning when you're vetting these people around your children. How are they behaving? But you don't do it for the rest of the time.
I guess what you said, like you had a rule. Like obviously we know now they've slept in the same bedroom together and everything else. I'm sure you're questioning a lot of things that like you haven't been told or that are going on. The thought process of them sleeping in the same bedroom caused you to say.
The idea that there was even a rule that had to be made, like the rule even needed to be made a rule, seems kind of outrageous to me. Anyone else?
Yeah.
I have a son. He's a lot younger than her. He's 4. But I guess if I was dating somebody or had somebody over, I would never establish, this is just me, a rule. He can't sleep in the bed with her or she's not going to be. It wouldn't even be a thought process for me. So that's why I asked, because I wouldn't think of it even as an option.
Yeah.
So when you say you had a rule, I guess I'm asking what prompted the rule?
Sleepovers before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me think.
Like, you want to watch movies and eat snacks? Can we do that? I'm like, no. We can all watch movies down here together. We can all sleep down here together. Up until June.
My stomach churn.
Together all the time. So we were always. She would sleep in the middle. I would sleep on the side. He would sleep on the other side.
I can't get over the fact. Why is she sleeping in the middle? Like it even gets worse. It's worse that they're putting her she's putting her daughter in the middle.
Until June that he got his own bedroom and I sent him upstairs. That's where the requests for sleepover started. And I kept telling her no. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable.
You know the rule. We've got rules.
But eventually at some point, like we really want to watch. I forgot what movie it was. They really wanted to watch something, and I was really tired. And I said, okay, fine. Go ahead, but this can't happen often.
We're gonna break the rule.
Yeah, I let her go upstairs.
The golden rule has been broken.
I think I can count on one hand how many times that's happened, and it hasn't been many times I've allowed her to have a slumber party with him, to be alone in a bed with him. I'm usually around all the time.
Usually around.
Usually,
up until 2 weeks ago.
except when the rules
You know,
broke.
I was pretty much at home all the time living on disability. If I wasn't at home, just, you know, I was substitute teaching, but I was substitute teaching primarily at her school or at school close by, but I made sure I get out around the same time and I get out in time to pick her up and take her. So she was with me pretty much all the time. She wasn't at school.
Except when she's upstairs,
Yeah, after-
you needed a good night's sleep with your boyfriend.
When he's not there, where does she sleep?
With me.
She never sleeps in her room?
No, always with me.
Quickly, do you know, and you may hate the question, but do you have any idea? We currently have upwards, probably 200 people working on finding. Right, the Orange County Sheriff's Office is involved, the Kissimmee Police Department's involved, St. Cloud Police Department, Osceola County Sheriff's Office, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FBI, yes, under suspicious circumstances. So anybody who is somebody is involved.
Yeah.
So regardless of the circumstances, those people don't get to go home. Those people don't get to go back to their families. Those people don't get to live their lives and go back to their primary jobs.
Of course.
I know the sheriff has probably expressed to you that's his number one priority. I'm sure the state police department's expressed that to you, our detectives. This isn't something that's going to stop or go away.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody who knows something, anybody who may know something, we brought to a room, we'll be talked to, whether they're guilty, whether they're innocent. Because our number one priority, our jobs have kind of stopped on any other things we have going on until it's fine, because that's the most important thing anybody has going on right now. But with that, a lot of people are going to feel that whatever happened, I can tell you, and I know detectives expressed to you that the thought process at this point is this is a homicide investigation.
Yeah.
Based on the evidence I've seen, based on the videos I've seen, I do believe. With that being said, and the reason I tell you that, not to be an asshole, is because the thought process with us leads it in a different investigation, a different way. Meaning, whatever has already happened, right? We cannot change what happened most likely on Monday. We cannot change the fact that I believe Stephen killed her, right? All we can do now is find her as quickly as possible. On the 2% chance we're wrong and that she is alive, that's phenomenal, right? That's the best thing that can happen. On the chance that we are 100% correct and she has passed away, finding her now versus later will bring closure to your family, will bring closer to everybody, regardless of how it happened or why it happened. Meaning, if you have an inclination, if you know where she's at, if his father knows, that doesn't mean those people get held accountable for what he did. It doesn't mean those people get held accountable for knowing what he did. It means we close out the investigation. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we go into rooms like this and we ask people questions. We say, hey, do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? And there's this fear of what happened already happened. I can't change that. So I'm not going to insert myself with knowledge because it's going to make me look bad. Regardless, at this point, I murdered her, right? He victimized her. He ruined her entire life from childhood until now. I think that there's probably some sense of guilt. And my fear is that sense of guilt is causing you to not want to assist in the location of her, not because you're a bad person, but because there's that sense of guilt that what was happening under your roof. And now, by her being found, brings that all to your plate, and it doesn't.
Oh no. If I knew anything, I would so tell you. I wanted to, even if she's dead, because you guys tell me your suspicions, but I'm not going to believe it until I have her body.
So there are things, and the reason I say these things, and again, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but the reason I say these things is there's been a lot of things you've said, and a lot of things I've kind of researched between the Fox 35 story, between your initial statement to the police. A lot of things have changed. The initial statement to the police was you watched her get dressed, you watched her leave, you knew exactly what she was wearing.
Can I tell you
Absolutely.
my thought process on that, or where I came from with that? I was handed this form, and I'm like, where do I start? What do I write? And somebody said, tell them what you saw. And so I started with I saw. And then I wrote out what I wrote out. But it wasn't until later I was like, wait, I didn't see her. I assumed that I saw her. I assumed that I heard her, but I didn't.
You assumed
In reality,
you
I
saw
didn't
your
see
daughter
her.
and the most
I
important.
only saw him.
And I heard something in the
moment
kitchen, but I don't know who that was.
which we talked about today.
you assumed you saw your daughter in one of the most important moments of seeing your daughter in her life, and you just assumed. You are a piece of work, Jen.
But I guess there's other concerns. Right? You were nervous. The police have showed you their hand. They said, Stephen, we want your phone. Stephen, we want to talk to you. We're going to lock down your residence. You can't go back inside. Me? I don't care if it's the love of my life sitting next to me. I don't care if it's maternal grandma. If the police come and take my mom's phone and my son's disappearance, I'm not going to offer my mom a lawyer. That's nuts to me. That to me shows you prioritizing Stephen. Because at that point, you became more worried about him being falsely accused than any. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Whether or not that's what you felt. Does that make sense?
Complete sense.
People having lawyers is their constitutional right. That is a thing that everybody is afforded. But for somebody who's going through what you were going through, to offer him a lawyer leads me to believe that there may have been a conversation, there may have been knowledge, or there may have been some inclination that you had, whether it be his involvement, her location, or something to where in your mind there's guilt.
I promise you.
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff? Fine. But what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. I'm just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming
This makes
that you
no
guys had the wrong
sense.
guy. I wanted to think he was the good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me and have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this face of the
You know
earth
that
right now.
now. We know he's a piece of shit now.
No,
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
Then
Yes,
you
you
offered a
did.
guy who the police suspected of kidnapping, abducting, assisting the disappearance. Offered him a lawyer. And then we don't have to roundtable that. You went back to what you just said is the sex stuff is fine.
It's not fine.
Look, I know every relationship is different, and I know everybody's family is different. I won't ask, but going back on, has he expressed interest in? I'll use the word weird. I'm not going to shame anybody for what they like. Different sexual pleasures, different sexual experiences, different kinks that involve things you weren't comfortable with.
The only thing he's ever expressed to me was like anal.
Okay.
He had an anal kink and like butts.
Okay.
But that was something I was
God.
uncomfortable with or doing. And
Poor
I let
Maddie.
him know that. Like that's not something.
Oh,
You guys slept in the same bed together. Stephen was a big portion of your life at one point. Stephen was a big portion of your life.
now I know.
And this is not me coming at you as a person or a bad person, because shit happens.
Now I know why I saw a channel talking about the panda eyes and Maddie having the panda eyes, and I was like, but was that happening to her? And now that I hear this, yes. Oh.
Happens in the past. We can't change the past. Has he ever expressed to you? Never. Has he ever made these statements about made you feel different?
No.
Okay. When you guys slept in the same bed together, in the middle, did you ever wake up and find them cuddling? Did you ever wake up and find them closer than you thought they should be?
They would snuggle. Yeah.
Okay.
But we all snuggle. I didn't think that was that problem.
So if you guys are sleeping in the same bed and she's in the center, you've woken up and they're snuggling. They're under the same blanket. They're not under the same blanket.
No.
But just like
She's got her own blanket.
spooning for what?
How
what is snuggling to you? Because to me, snuggling, spooning, big spoon, little spoon.
He would lay down like this, and she would be right here in the nook.
Okay. How do you guys sleep? You guys sleep clothed, unclothed? I sleep clothed.
Yeah.
Shirt, pants, pajama sets.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's panda eyes. It's what happens to young kids that is happening to them. I learned that during the Balenciaga campaign with Kim Kardashian when they had all those little kids that they were. Yeah, I learned it. Just Google panda eyes, and YouTube will definitely not let me say what it actually is.
Sleep in like my everyday clothes.
Okay.
On pajamas or baggy t-shirts and shorts.
Okay.
And Stefan would sleep with his t-shirt or boxers, sometimes with his pants on, but he didn't have pajamas.
Okay. So they would snuggle, sometimes him being in his boxers. You would wake up and she'd be in the nook of his arm, essentially in a cuddling position. And you never found that weird.
No.
Okay. Again, you and I may find things different. Why? And I don't want you to look back on it because now you know you victimized her for a long time, right? Under your roof. With you home, most likely, because you said you're always home. You just got this job. You're living off disability. I know the Kissimmee Police Department has showed you pictures. I know they've verbally explained you some pictures. I can tell you that today, they're still downloading his Google Drives. We're still going through his social medias, his cloud-based servers, and everything else. And we can now piece back her victimization in your house under your care to 2020. I believe you've gone as far back as in. So when I ask, they've woken up cuddling, did you find things suspicious? Did you have an open relationship? Did he talk to you? Has he made inappropriate statements? It's almost like cheating, right? Like, have you ever been cheated on? Okay. Somebody can only cheat on somebody for so long until they fuck up, or until something comes out, or somebody says something, right? So we go back to 2020, we're looking at a minimum of 3.5 years. 3.5 years where I'm sure you guys are sexually active. Yes. So for 3.5 years under your care in your house, not only is he being sexually active with you, he had a sexual relationship. And I know it's an emotional thing, and I know it sucks to hear, but where I'm coming from is it seems like something that you can't hide forever. You guys live in a small space, close quarters, you sleep in the same bed, you guys all talk, you guys all share things. You're an observant person for the most part, I assume. Outside of taking medications and going to sleep, it seems very difficult. A lot of grown-ass adults can't hide an affair with somebody who doesn't live with them, let alone somebody who does live with them. So at a certain point, I do believe you became aware of what was going on.
No.
And when I say that, it doesn't mean you're in trouble. It doesn't change.
I know, but
I do believe that a reasonable person, I consider you a reasonable person, right? Do you think you're a reasonable person?
Yes.
Would be aware that under her roof, sexual relation.
I had no idea.
The videos, the text messages, the images, they're all documented forever. This has been an ongoing thing. And at her age, I think she probably thought they were in a relationship. She probably thought they were in love because he her male attention, right? She just started liking boys, right? She just got a crush. Up until then, her crush.
Has it come out that she was pregnant?
At the same time, you guys are sleeping in the same bed together. You guys are all cohabitating. She's not sleeping in her room. But you felt the need to establish a rule that they couldn't sleep in the same room. But when you established that rule, for 3 years, she's already been dating him, essentially. Whether that's legal or not.
I had no idea.
So I truthfully believe, and this is my belief, I'm not speaking for other detectives, I'm not speaking for the sheriff's office, the state police department, or any other agency I've said. This is Kevin's belief. I believe that you became aware of their sexual relationship. I think at a certain point throughout this relationship, you became aware of it. And for whatever reason, your reasons are your reasons, whether it was discussed that it would stop, whether it was discussed how it would go, that you feel some sense of guilt. A lot of the news statements you've given, kind of, again, my opinion only, I don't speak for anybody else, whether it's in this room or out of this room.
I tend to think that too. I think something occurred that made her
have to make this rule, and if you have to make that rule, then he shouldn't be in the house at all.
It seems like some of your emotion up until this room, I think some of the emotion in this room is sincere. I think a lot of it's
Yes.
being an asshole. I'm telling you things you don't want to hear that shouldn't be said out loud. But when you talk to the news, when you talk to deputies, it feels, based on my experience in this job, that it's not sincere. I feel like some of your sadness is not real sadness. I feel like when you gave the interview with Fox 35, it was not sincere. Looking at that video one time, I didn't feel like your cries were sincere. And I'm not saying that because you're a bad person. I feel like sometimes people struggle to show real emotion when they're aware of what the truth is. So it has to be fake. This is demise for the past, let's say, 5 years, right? But her going missing, her disappearance, if you have knowledge of how it happened, where it happened, and inclination, that emotion's not going to feel sincere because you're already aware of what happened.
I would.
It's almost becomes
If
a
I
lie
knew,
at that point.
if I knew anything, I promise you, I would tell you. Like, I am willing to take a lie detector test, whatever the fuck you want, but I don't know anything. He's never mentioned anything. I've never seen any signs. I tried watching her like a hawk. I thought I was doing a good job, but I wasn't. I was oblivious to this everything. 4 years.
Minimum. That's just how that far back a cloud goes. And I find it hard to believe for me that you were so worried about how many pills she took at night, but not where she slept or what relationship she was. His interest in her.
I thought we were all safe. I thought because in that he hadn't shown me anything so far. Like, everything seems fine. Like, he seemed like he treated her like
he treats you.
You're his girlfriend.
In his mind.
It's like he had two girlfriends.
So now he's in jail because of what we found on his phone, not because somebody came forward and reported that he was abused.
No, I know.
She's not old enough to consent. She's not old enough to have a thought process to even want anything that was happening to her. It's abuse. So he's in jail for that. But something caused what happened, right? We searched murder because we can call it murder. She didn't die naturally. She didn't overdose. She didn't have a heart attack. We circled murder on Monday. Something had to cause that. He's been having unrestricted sexual activity for a long time. He's getting what he wants from her, probably from you, and who knows whoever else, right? So it's not like
We
he
know
woke
there
up
was
or
more.
went to bed Sunday and he was like, you know what? I'm done with this, but I'm going to kill her. Something happened. People don't just wake up and like, you know what? They leave people, they break up with people, but usually things cause people to snap. Now, you know what? And I'm in trouble, or I feel like I'm going to, or him being out, we can go even worse. She's pregnant.
That's what questions last night led me to believe when we started talking about her period.
I was told that her and her friend, and granted, I'm male, never had a period, but that somebody found it weird that they were no longer on the same cycle. Could be different because she's a teenage girl. Could be that she missed her period. Have you ever found a pregnancy test at home that wasn't yours?
I have 2 underneath the bathroom sink, but I haven't seen if they're still there or not.
Okay. But you haven't seen any used ones in the trash?
No.
Their relationship hasn't changed?
No.
Okay. So what do you think happened Sunday? Other than him killing her, what do you think made him snap?
I don't know. Theories. I keep hearing.
Tell me your theories, because here's the deal: we don't go home until she's found.
No, I know.
So what are your theories?
What I've heard is, what if she upset him and threatened to tell me and say that she was going to tell me, and he needed to shut that down. That's the only thing.
What do you think?
What she heard? Who did she hear that from?
I believe. I don't want to believe he killed her. But Rudy was telling me he was going to kill her Sunday night and snuck her body out in the morning. That photo you guys showed me of herself in the car.
You don't want to believe you killed her.
I want to believe she's still alive and that she got kidnapped, but that doesn't seem like that's the case at all.
Yeah.
I know, my brain just wants to believe something else. I just want to believe she's still alive, she's out there.
He tell you he fucked up.
Cry me a river, lady. Okay, guys, there is still over half left on this, and I have got to get a better chair. I ordered a new microphone, and a new chair is next on the list, but we're gonna have to make this a two-parter. Maybe tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's Saturday, right? I can't believe it's already Friday. Like, the week went by so fast. It is Friday, right? Yes, because my phone, I lost my phone, and that's why I don't know what day of the week it is. My phone is lost, and it's coming tomorrow. So yes, tomorrow is Saturday. So I will maybe pop on tomorrow, 11 Eastern time, and watch the rest of this with you guys. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was Friday, but it's weird. When you don't have a phone, I feel like I've lost touch with reality. It's weird. Even though I have this desktop, I'm used to having a phone. So, and I don't have that. So anyway, I will have it tomorrow. So I also haven't been talking to anybody. It's been kind of liberating and free. Well, thank you for being here, Shorty Pie 30. Thank you, F. Breely. And who else was? And I know Feister, Cosmic Crumb. And if I missed anybody else, I'm sorry. So happy to have you here. Alora Flowers. I think you dipped a little while ago, but thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. And yeah, the poll will go up tomorrow. Please let me know. I'm kind of leaning like I really want to know about the family, the extended family. I want to know about the dad. I want to know about Maddie's dad, the grandmother. What was going on? Maybe even like throw in some friends there. Maybe we'll separate. We'll do extended family, and then we'll do the friends later on. But anyway, yeah, I want to know more about this case. It's starting to get into my soul, and it's hard to watch, though. It makes my stomach churn. It's hard to deal with. Like I've said this over and over. When adults do this to children, I think it steals a part of their soul, and it's really sad. And I hope if this man did this, which I mean, I'm 99.9% sure he did, he deserves what he deserves. And I said what I said. So. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being here. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up on your way out. And if nobody's told you this today, and even if they have, I'm still going to tell you this. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never ask why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly, deep in the heart